Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Continuing our discussion with our friend Michelle from Department of Ag, Trade, Consumer Protection. It's a little cold out there this time of year. Actually, it's been cold right now, like right as we're taping this, it's kind of cold. And today we're going to be talking about scammers that threaten to shut off utilities. A timely, very timely scam that continues to impact this area, especially Wisconsin. Cold, makes sense. But when I say very timely, I can't think of a more timely, well, maybe I can, but for cold weather and this type of season, makes sense that we're going to see an uptick in these types of scams.
Yeah, we talk about this scam every single year because certainly every single year the scammers are out in Wisconsin, as you indicated, because of our temperatures. You know, maybe when people hear this, it'll be a warm week, but the next week is going to probably be a sub-zero week. We just are on that roller coaster, and we need our utilities connected during this season, in the length of the season here for the state. So scammers definitely take advantage, make those phone calls, threaten people to make them incredibly vulnerable that they're going to disconnect their heat unless somebody takes action during that phone call.
So let's start with the scam itself. You kind of mentioned a few things, but they don't necessarily identify a company, although I've seen some that said they impersonate the company itself. But overall, how do you see these come in, I guess, from the quote-unquote utility company? Although if somebody called me and said, I'm from the utility company, I'd be like, that's really funny.
Right. These often come in by telephone, more often than any other method, by text or social media or email. These typically come by phone, and they do use spoofing quite a bit. They connect with the phone number they're calling with the local utility company name. So we see our local providers also doing messaging on this to make sure consumers know that scammers are out there trying to get their money that can be used for the utility bill. So they spoof that phone number, make it look like it's the local company, they use that name, and then they start their pitch during the phone call that they have a truck, a work order number. They're going to be doing a disconnection because you are behind or delinquent in paying your utility bills. Maybe there's a problem with your paperwork for some reason, you know, that they'll use that, but that it's urgent, you take care of it right now, and they'll take payment by, wait for it, prepaid gift card or wiring money. And actually, I'm anticipating we'll see cryptocurrency creep into this as well.
Sigh. Maybe talk a little bit about the high pressure tactics. You've kind of already mentioned a little bit about it, but I can't think of a better one that this is where you're going to get it from. And what can that look like? I mean, could it be yelling? Can it be, what is that? What is that feeling?
The pressure comes from you're dealing with your utility company. It's cold out. I need my heat. They're coming right now unless I take action to do the disconnection. They've given me a work order number, a truck number in some cases. They may have a little information from your billing statement because utilities are public entities in our state. So you have those tactics being all worked together. And by luck of it, maybe you are behind. Maybe you're not really behind, but you haven't made this month's payment yet because it wasn't due, and you don't think about it and go, oh my goodness, could this be? And you react. You don't take that minute to stop, think, and then act or respond. We just respond to this immediate phone call because they're being very urgent and very official with you, and this is how it's going to be done.
So in Wisconsin, you get reports of this each and every year in Wisconsin. So this is not like, hey, this is a national thing, blah, blah, blah. This is right here in Fitchburg, Madison, Dane County, name it.
Yeah, we get phone calls from northern Wisconsin, central Wisconsin, southern Wisconsin, yes, with the local utility company names. We usually get a spike. Some years we get a spike on a single day of consumers calling saying, I got this phone call. And we want to hear from them. We want to know when it is circulating.
That's interesting. I'm glad you bring that up because I feel like the utility companies also share out. I follow our local utility companies in case we need to share out any information. And all of a sudden I'll see it like, hey, hey, we have been notified, or people have told us that there is a scam running out there right now saying that we're out to disconnect your thing, and so maybe a good time to be signing up with those utility companies, along with following you guys as well, because you're going to continue to update people as these things come in rapid fire.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a wonderful suggestion to follow your local utility company, because then it will be who you are dealing with as a customer. And when in doubt, always call them. Don't just respond to this phone call. That's one, not their process. But two, they often work with their customers who are struggling. They may have opportunities for assistance. And if they don't, there are other assistants out there that people may be eligible for, and they'll help you connect to those as well, because they don't want to do disconnections, and they can't. In our state, there is a moratorium on disconnections as well. There are very rare cases where they can do that, but there is this moratorium until April 15th. That gets us through most of the coldest weather that we have.
I was going to say, you've set me up for the last and final piece of this, is there are a bunch of resources out there that, and again, the state statute as it is, they're not going to be able to disconnect you. So stop that high pressure conversation shouldn't come from utility. And no matter what the situation is, whether it's, utility bills to car payments to whatever. If it's high pressure, if it's too good to be or sounds weird, just hang up, right?
Yeah, just hang up and then call from your bill, or you mentioned a car payment. Whatever it is, call the servicer, call the company you are dealing with directly and say, did you just call me? Do we have a problem? How's my status? Because they want to know when people are out there impersonating them as well. And
then finally, if people do want resources on anything to do with utilities, so if there are issues, if there are concerns of, I'm behind or I just lost my job, whatever, there are resources out there that are provided, and you'll be happy to share some of those.
Absolutely. So you can visit energyandhousing.wi.gov. That's the statewide customer care center for energy assistance, and that's going to work for your energy assistance as well as water assistance. So make sure you reach out to them. They have a phone number as well, 1-800-506-5596. Something that's really easy to remember, call 211. You can always reach out to 211, and they can that's Wisconsin's information and referral system. They'll help you find that other phone number and websites that you can go to. And if you ever have questions about utilities, the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin is our state entity that oversees them, and we partner with them on these scams and messaging, but you can always go to psc.wi.gov.
Yeah, great resources there. And again, as Michelle mentioned, you want to report these things. So as these things come in, any scam, you really should report it, especially if it's directed towards you. But nevertheless, if people want to report it, find out more information, or have any questions regarding the stuff we shared today or any of the interviews, how can they get a hold of you?
You can call the hotline at DATCP, 1-800-422-7128, or go to our website at datcp.wi.gov.
All right, Michelle, I appreciate the time as always, and your team as always for everything you're all doing out there. It's amazing work, and we appreciate you.
Well, thank you.